Welcome back to this episode of RADBMX Builds. A quick story before we get into this really rad custom GT Performer build. The reason I'm building this bike is for a good friend named Corey. Corey and I have known each other since the early 90s when we would drive around in our mini trucks together in Rapid City, South Dakota when I was stationed at Ellsworth Air Force Base. Corey was not in the military, but became a great friend over the years, and we've never lost touch. He had a son back then. His name was Austin. Austin grew up, joined the Air Force, and served honorably up to the rank of Staff Sergeant. Austin tragically lost his life while serving this country, and Corey rebuilt an old mini truck kind of to honor his son Austin. And this is a full custom truck. And I had a green and white newer GT Performer that I sold to Corey, and he put in the back of that truck. I didn't know that bike was gonna go into the back of that truck. When I saw the truck in person, I said, Corey, I can do better than that. Let's find a GT Performer about the same year as your truck, and I will do a full custom build for you in honor of Austin. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, this custom build was a frame and fork purchase that I ended up finding bars and a seat post, took them the powder coat, and then literally bought all brand new parts for this bike. Keep in mind, the majority of these parts are repop, but the goal is to make this a show-worthy bicycle to go in the back of a very show-worthy truck. And I need it to match. So we used Kawasaki green, which is the green used in Corey's mini truck. And then I used white as the accent color. So we have a lot of brand new white components and parts to go on this bike. Let's go over those parts now. Okay, for wheels, we are using the GT LP5 repop tires. And these are from BMX Guru, high polished, sealed bearing, high flanged hubbed wheels. And I asked Corey if he wanted to go with white mags or spokes, and he said spokes. And I was a little hesitant at first, but now I think it's a great idea, and I'm gonna show you why, because it really accents some of the other parts that are on here. So Corey, I give you kudos for that. I probably would have gone with the new Skyway 6-spoke wheels, but I think these are gonna give it that look that we really wanna have, that show bling look. So let's take a look at some of the other parts. Thank you to Justin at BMX Basement for donating this awesome brand new Dominator seat. I'm gonna go with die-comp brakes, front and rear, die-comp MX2 levers. And then Rebel Art Design, you can find him on Instagram. I reached out to him and we got together to make these custom decals to match this bike. And then we have the GT PC platform pedals. I got the GT Power Series decals that I'm gonna lay off-center over the black to give it a three-dimensional look. The white and chrome chain, the GT power disc and sprocket, GT bottom bracket, Tioga headset, a brand new from BMX Guru gyro cable, a brand new white gyro, which I've just set up on top of there for now, GT Performer bars, repop mallet stem, and Amy grips to top it off. So you can kind of get a layout of all of the green and white components. So I think it's gonna look really good. This color is gonna really be off on film and in photos, but man, it's a bright green. If you've ever seen a Kawasaki dirt bike, this is that color. And my powder coater just happened to have some of that in stock, which was like it was meant to be, because it's probably not a very high demand color to have in stock, but it is out there and I'm really happy that we have it. Okay, now that we have all the parts and components together, that's what I like to do before I start a build. That way I can visualize it and see if there's anything I'm missing or anything I want to change before I get into the build. It's all here. The last part showed up just a little while ago, so let's get into this build. All right, we're back, and we got a good chunk of the bike put together. I didn't think you would want to watch me put on part after part, even if I time-lapsed it. So I'm just going to give you an update. We're a little more than halfway there. Let's check out the bike. Okay, right up front, you can see the Amy grips and die-comp lever. Got the bars, the stem, Tioga headset, and the gyro, and the front brake put on. Came out pretty good. I like the color combination. The balance is pretty good. And then this looks just absolutely amazing. I'm really happy the way this turned out. So this is the GT Power Series cranks. I put the green decal over the black. Gives it kind of a three-dimensional shadow look. And this is the GT Power Disc in white sprocket and the GT PC pedals. And then the GT seat post clamp, GT seat post, and Dominator seat that we showed you earlier. And then we got the rear brake on there as well. All we have left to do is put some tires on some wheels. We need to go ahead and put on all the cables, front brake, all the gyro stuff. And lastly, what I like to do is decals. I wait till the very end to do decals because I want to see the bike and how it sits on the ground. If I did it right here in the rack, it doesn't give me a really good interpretation of how the bike is going to sit or the stance. So I like to do it while it's on the floor, and it gives me a better idea of how I want to position those decals. So those are going to be the very last thing to do, sort of like the icing on the cake. But we should have this bike buttoned up in no time, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. And it's the next day. Welcome back. I know it's only a few seconds for you, but it's the afternoon of the next day, and today is the day we're going to finish this up and upload it to YouTube. So what I've accomplished is pretty much the entire bike's together. All I need to do is run the brake cables, put on the chain, decals, and air in the tires, and it is done. So let's get finished and show you what this bike looks like when it's all complete. But here's a quick little recap where we're currently at. This was a very special build, so I took my time making sure that everything is perfect. And this turned out to be one of my best builds, and that couldn't make me happier because it's going to such a rad friend. I want to show you now the build, and I'm going to go over the parts and things that we did that was custom to make this different from any other bike. Okay, first up is the custom Kawasaki green powder coat. And then you'll immediately notice from Rebel Art Design the custom decals that we put on this bike. It turned out so good, and I added a RADBMX decal to the bars. And then down here I added a RADBMXBUILDS shop decal to the bottom of the frame. We also added green decals over the black decals on the cranks. So let me give you a completed montage of this bike. And there it is, the custom 90s GT Performer for my good friend Corey. And Corey, thank you for trusting me to build this bike to honor your son Austin. I couldn't have been more happy that you chose me to do this, and I hope I did it justice. Thanks again everybody for watching. If you want some merch, I got hats and shirts, decals and hoodies available at radbmxbuilds.com/merch. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. A lot more videos like this coming in the very near future, or go back and look at some of the older videos, and welcome to the Rad family. And just like that, this video's over, and as always, stay rad.